Hello.
Hey.
Around your new hips. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
And I worked very hard. Hello. Wouldn't it suck if you didn't? Yeah. That train.
Yeah, can you not hear me?
Come with a plan. I can't hear you.
I'm talking.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you not hear us?
Can
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right.
Hold on, I'm gonna have to exit and go back in. My Bluetooth not connected.
Hey.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes. Can you not hear us?
I'm talking, I can't hear you.
I can hear you.
That ain't gonna work. Always something. Over cable. All right. There you go. All right, y'all. I'm ready to have it down with me another time. Oh boy. All right. Time to put the piece of bean. It's time for the full. Oh boy, you know what time it is. It's Monday. Monday. You know what we do on Mondays? It's time for the full 180. Man, look, we're gonna get through it. I'm gonna thug it out today because when I tell y'all I'm tired, man, shout out to all my teachers. Y'all know what time it is. Time to go back to the schoolyard. Man, I spent so much time at school today. Lord have mercy. And they don't believe in her. They already treating us like we on the plantation. Ain't no I was like, man, I know that's ain't real country. Ain't no But other than that, man, I got through it today, man. Put my classroom together, so I'm kind of excited. But it is that time. It is that time, nevertheless, to bring it to you raw and uncut context with good content. And that's all about the full 180. I got the crew with me, of course. Jules is in the building, of course, and in our own Webster dictionary. Look, Webby, she in here somewhere. I don't know where. D is on his way.
I'm here.
Hello, ladies. How are y'all? Oh, okay. We just didn't see you. You know, you be thugging it out sometimes. So I'll be trying to make sure you in the building. Jay Jules, what's happening?
What's up? What's
Yeah.
up? What's up? I was muted. My bad.
It's cool. I think D is on his way. Baby mama, we don't know. She might get in where she fit in, whatever. What up, baby D? But other than that, man, I got a couple things I want to get into before we get the show started. Of course, let me welcome all our visitors. If you're new to the actual podcast, make sure you subscribe. You can actually select that QR code. It'll take you directly to the show. I believe on YouTube. You can subscribe there, subscribe to the actual Instagram page and the actual YouTube page so you can keep up with what's going on. The live show is definitely coming soon or right around the corner, man. Life be life. I don't know about y'all, but life be life around here. But you can do that. So I want to welcome all our visitors, of course, man. Hope you had a great Monday, great weekend. Couple things I do want to get into that I know are coming up. Our own Dr. B, she'll be out today. Why? A very good reason. This is the third Thursday networking cocktail hour. You can join them in the lobby of the Inwood Bank. I believe it's hosted by none other than her mother, Miss Belinda Smith. I believe that's who it is, and hosted by Denise Banks, realtor founder, WBWH, entrepreneur and business professional. Is the dress, man, right there on Hampton Road. So make sure you come check them out. They're there from 6:30 to 8 p.m. every third Thursday. And ladies and gentlemen, it's that time. That's right. Like I said, it's back to school, back to school, back to school. And my partner, I had the privilege of doing this for my partner. You know, I love him to life. Mr. Michael Hicks, excuse me, put some respect on his name. Dr. Michael Hicks will be the owner of the Williams Chicken in Fort Worth. Not only that, he owns a trucking company and a bunch of other business, him and his lovely wife, Queen B. They will be doing the Hicks Legacy inaugural back to school bash August 5th, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. 1701 McLennan Court, Fort Worth, Texas 76112. That's right. Fuck your time. That's where I'm from. Born and raised, I'll be in the house, hanging out at the Williams Chicken, man. You know where it is, where we kick it all the time on the side. Free for kids, backpacks, school supplies, tablets, phones. Enjoy face painting, bounce houses, and much, much more. If you like to register, make sure you go to hicksbacktoschool.eventbrite.com. I'm gonna say it again. Hicks, HICKS, back, BACK, to the number school.eventbrite.com. Man, when I tell you he's doing a bunch of wonderful things over there in the Fort Worth area with this place of business, he actually deals with the McDonald YMCA. I've seen him do that before. He's also been on he's actually been on the show with the brothers. Sorry, I'm playing my light. If you ever been to the brothers restaurant, he's been on the actual show with the actual owner of that as well. So Mike is doing his thing. He also hang out with it's called Gentleman's Toast. It's like a public speaking type of event where it's men. Men just telling you how they went from adolescent to grown men and how they are doing it now. So With that being said, man, look, we're not gonna hold up. Like I said, I think the poet that didn't know it will check in just a second. However, we got to get into it. So today I thought we'd do something real cool, right? I've already talked to these two ladies, so they already kind of know the insight. But we're gonna get into the conversation. So the topic will be Dear 418, letters from the culture. So the reason why I did this is because we got some letters in an email, or should I say I have. And you can always email me at the 4180, 4180convo at gmail.com. And whatever you got on your mind, man, we'll definitely talk about it. If it's something that you need help with, we can give you because they always say make sure you seek out wise counsel. Now, I'm not gonna say we are wise counsel. We can give you a suggestion, we can give you some advice. At the end of the day, listen to me clearly. It is your 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 decision about how you run things at your house. My mother and my grandmother or my grandfather would always say, you do what works around your zip code and not necessarily around with somebody else's. So, but we'll definitely give you sound advice. And we can talk about it, whatever the case may be. So, ladies, we've already spoke earlier. So, do we want to go kind of comical or do we want to be serious right now? Which one y'all prefer?
Both.
Both of them gonna be comical anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up to y'all. Now, you understand, again, if you're watching the show, we need you to comment in because this is not about us. We do this for you. And so we want you to be a part of the show as well. So just don't sit there and watch and listen. Say something. Now, disclaimer, ladies and gentlemen, it's finna get real in the field. So I need you to be okay. All right? I just need you to know we all grown here. Like my intro say, put the children to bed because it's time for the full 180. We have grown conversation. So, with that being said, ladies, we'll start with the first one. Give me 1 second here. All right, here we go. So the first one says, Dear 418, I don't know if anybody else is going through this. I don't know if anybody else have these issues. First time I've ever heard it in my world. But I have a question. Does anyone else have a husband with whack dick? And then have the nerve to have infidelity issues? I mean, I be I be mad sometimes just thinking, you really want to share that? And I know it's trash. And in my mind, I hope he is not out here making me look bad in these streets as if I think it's good. I don't understand. But I need some help on this. Can you give me some type of advice or a suggestion? Because it doesn't make sense. Sign, a lady just want to have an orgasm. So, with that being said, I always have theme music. She said, now I'm gonna go back through the letter for those who need to catch up. She said, does anyone have a husband with whack? Well, I'm gonna try to be as cool as I can. A whack sex game. Okay. And then have the nerve to have infidelity issues.
Struggle.
Not only that, she feels as though it's like you really want to share it and it ain't no good. But then she mad because she think he got her in the streets letting these other chicks think he just really putting it down at home. So ladies, I mean, let's dig into because you got to make me understand. I don't understand. Now I don't consider myself to be old. I've been around a lot of experienced people. When I say that, I mean grown. My grandmother is one of them. Love her dearly. What up, Miss Geraldine Walker? Put some respect on her name when you talk to her. But I need to understand, first of all, a couple of things about what this letter says. What is lame? Oh, look, hold on. I'm gonna do something. So I did this for y'all because y'all face said this when I played. So what I need to know is let's break this down. Ladies, advise the fellas, what is lame sex? What is lame penis? I mean, yeah, go break it down so it can forever be broke. Whoever want to go first? And then I got some questions.
You got the dictionary over there with it. Come on.
I'm not
Pull
gonna
it
put
out,
me on
Webster.
something like that.
Look, she finna look at it though. Look at her. Go pull it out. Come on, future.
Hey, you know my name. When they do it for themselves.
Oh, that's a great definition.
You
Yes.
have a good one.
Yes.
Okay, go.
I mean, yes.
You can go in detail. You can go in detail. What do you mean when they do it for
I'm
themselves?
gonna go into detail, very podcast like. So politically correct, like, so in other words, they're only in it for themselves, and that's it. And then it's over.
For their own pleasure.
Right.
You know, they're not concerned about the woman and whether or not she gets off or whatever.
Right. If she's satisfied and then they're satisfied, and then you're sitting there like, oh, that was it. Okay.
I mean, okay. Go ahead, Judge. I'm not going to interrupt. I want y'all to go ahead and do what y'all do.
I agree with that because a lot of times, if they're in their own head, then they not tuned in, and it's just self gratification, and it ain't worth nothing to us.
So since we know, we full 180. We done made this circle. Have anyone of y'all ever experienced like some lame? The fact your face did what it did, Jules. That's why I left it up there. I mean, have you ever experienced that? Have you ever experienced like it just wasn't, it just, I mean, you went in there and made a whole meal afterwards?
I think that at some point in your life, if you have had it, you have experienced it.
So what was your experience like? Let us in your world.
Really?
What you mean, really? I mean, hey, we're trying to help a lost soul. That's all we're trying to do. We're trying to help a lost soul. I'm just trying to look. So let me say this. Well, so I'm gonna let you think about that, but I'm gonna play this because it goes along with what Lil Webby said. Hold on.
Okay.
What do you think about keeping sex mutually enjoyable?
Oh, that was a challenge for me. I'm gonna be real.
It ain't only about you, sir.
It ain't only about me, but I know most husbands, we get into the relationship and think that marriage or sex is about us and for us. So what I had to realize is that you enjoy sex too. So I had to study you, listen to you, actually, do things for you sexually to actually stimulate you. And the first thing that I had to do was to stimulate your mind. To have conversations, make you feel connected emotionally first. Then once I got you steamy and put on that finesse and romance, mentally, emotionally, then in the bedroom, it turns out to be totally different. So I had to make a lot of changes.
So the brother say, to go along with Lil Webby said, the brother said, hey, he had to make sure I understand that it was a mutual thing. Like I had to stimulate you mentally. And then once I did that also, so that matriculated when we got into the bedroom, right? So when I read this letter to go with it said, what's funny to me is that some people read this and they stick to the lame part, the lame dick part. But you don't further go and talk about the infidelity. Because see, my thing is, if you getting lame sex, then that means based upon what he said, You ain't doing. So the one that I am doing is turning me on mentally because you ain't. So that's why you get the lane at your house.
Maybe.
So okay. So if that is the case, instead of you putting it out in the street that you ain't getting your back broke like you want to, why you ain't checked yourself? Because the part in there it says infidelity. If he's infidelity and going somewhere else and getting it, it's when do you stop? Stop before you open your mouth and think what is you that you're not doing.
So two parts to this. First of all, if it's your husband and he has lame dick, there's some grace that's been given, right? And there has been some communication that you have not had with your husband, period. You have not communicated that it's lame dick or that it's not enjoyable or whatever to your husband so that it's no longer lame dick, because there's creative ways to make it not. And there's ways to communicate and express and play and whatever to make it not. However, that has not been done. Secondly, the infidelity part of this is, I think that, subconsciously somewhere, maybe she just thought that because it was WAG that he wouldn't go nowhere, or maybe he just don't know. Maybe she done hyped them up. Some people can't talk about their sexuality, in the bedroom and all of that and what they want and what they don't want without feeling some sense of shame. I think that's a more of a woman's thing than a man's thing. However, him out here being in the streets like that, I don't really know what her question is, but if he committed adultery, you got an out, boo. You got an out.
True
you
that.
can take it. You
True
sticking
that.
around
True
for you sticking around clearly for something other than the dick.
And you said something about, and I let the women talk. And then you said something about, well, it's hard for female to talk about this. Why?
Because
So if you put it in the context of what you just said, we're married. Why is that conversation hard?
I think that women are brought up to not be sexual creatures. That it's kind of taboo to be sleeping around and all of that. You brought up with that chastity, whereas men are not. They are brought up to, and it's all cool and everything to go sleep with a million girls or have, to be a player, right? Whereas women do not. So it takes us longer. We don't really learn our bodies until we become adults, because now we're experiencing, all of that. So we tend to not have value in the bedroom until we figure that out.
Right. I can agree. And I want to add something to what Jewel said. As far as men, yes, men are taught to go and have sex with as many women as possible, but they're not taught how to have sex with women. They're just taught to do it.
It's a self-pleasure for them.
Right. That's all they're taught. And then, like you said too, women aren't taught to be, like you said, sexual beings. We're not taught to be expressive or things like that. I was having a conversation and was saying that women, when I was in high school, if you heard that a female classmate was performing oral or fellatio on a guy, then she was nasty.
Right. Or a hoe.
Yeah, she was that. So then you get grown and get married, and then your husband is upset because you're not doing those things, because you still thinking back how such and such got called that in high school or whatever. And then it makes it uncomfortable. But I also wanted to say, Tricky, how you were saying that, why is that a tough conversation?
The neck. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm not so sure it's tough for women to say. I think it's tough for men to hear that they're not being, that their wives are not being sexually satisfied because of the male ego.
I agree.
So if I were to express to my mate, hey, babe, I don't like when you do X, Y, and Z. Oh, what you mean? And then it turns into a whole thing, and you're like, okay. And then they're mad at you because you're not, having a happy ending at the end, and they're looking at you sideways like it's your fault. And it's like, well, no, I tried to tell you I didn't like when you did that, but you keep doing it. And so here we are.
So is there ever a time? So, because see, when I hear that, my first question is, are you comparing what somebody else used to do to what somebody's doing to you now?
No,
No.
I'm telling you that what you're doing, I don't like it.
Uh,
Period.
Yeah. All right. It ain't about
did
nobody
your,
else. It
did
ain't
your
about
face have to be like,
nothing like that.
Are you okay over there?
yeah, because your face is like, no, I don't like it.
No, I don't like it. No, I don't. Please don't do that ever again. And yet you continue to do it, or I'm telling you that I want you to do something, and you don't do it. And it's not that I'm comparing you. It's like, hey,
This my body.
I promise you, I know what works and don't work, and
Right.
and you somewhere else, and you want me to give you a gold star for for a good performance, and boo, we like, no, still on red.
Yeah.
But I mean, but you haven't like mentally stimulated my mind yet in order for me to give you the gold star performance.
Well, say that.
Yeah. I don't know. I
But
don't
that's
even
hard.
know.
That's hard too,
I,
because not all y'all are accepting to any type of improvements that need to be done. Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why that's hard. It's hard for a man to say that without your mind building a whole narrative and creating a whole movie and then starring me in it. And I didn't even say all that. You heard
So
what I said, but when it got to you, you created something else that I said.
how would you say it?
What you mean?
How would you say
How
it?
would I say it? Well,
yeah.
I'm very direct. So therefore, not me. I wouldn't very, I'm just and now I'm saying I probably wouldn't even say anything. Because
No,
my thing is this is you. This is you, not that. Now, if it was something that's like real terrible, yeah, nah, I can't. Yeah.
So point
Or I
example.
would
This is
or
the
I
same
would
thing.
I would dodge doing it.
So this is exactly the same thing that the lady is going through with the letter. She can't even say it to him because it's so bad. Like,
and he out here thinking he gold star.
yep. And he can
I
cheat
mean, but
all
that's
day. She probably like, you know. The
I still
question is she cheating? If you know
that
she's out here running the street like that, and I don't even know what is the question. Does she want to stay with him? Does she want
I
advice on
mean, that's what I mean, when I
what
read it, I
advice
guess the
is
whole
she
part of me was the
seeking?
infidelity issue. This is like, so I am one to believe, even in my own it situation, that I had a part to play in it. See, a lot of people don't believe that you have a part to play in some of your infidelity moments or somebody seeking to somebody else. That's a part you play in.
No, no,
There's
no,
a
no,
part.
no.
Yeah. There's a part you played because there was something. Now, disclaimer: if he had a conversation with you and it was a conversation, then cool. Then I can go with it. If he didn't have a conversation, okay, then to me, he don't have a leg really to stand on. But if it's something that
No.
I brought to your attention, or as my grandmother would say, I can take you to the water, but I can't make you drink. Meaning, I can tell you what's wrong, but if you choose not to see it, acknowledge it, or do anything with it, then now you put the ball back in my court. Either I'm gonna deal with it or I'm gonna fade to black.
Nobody is excusing the bad behavior of the infidelity. Nobody's excusing that. But I think rationally, some people, we got to get to the root of the problem. Some people just don't wake up and say, "Oh, I'm gonna go step out on my spouse,"
So
and they right mind.
right.
But if if I have, and I'm just saying hypothetically, if I have been expressing to you whatever it is I've been expressing to you, and I'm not talking about months on end, I'm talking about years on end, we steady having the same conversation. And on top of me steadily having this same conversation with you, now you're starting to reject intimacy from me. We ain't talking about just sex. Intimacy. After a while, again, I am not condoning or excusing, but after a while, that gets very taxing.
So for me, I feel like your cheating ain't got nothing to do with me. It's all what you want to do. It's all your desire. It's all your whatever you done made up in your head and your excuses or whatever. It's all on you. It ain't got nothing to do with me, first of all. Because if you're gonna cheat, you're gonna cheat. For whatever reason you want to cheat. It's always a choice. First of all. Secondly, if you out here cheating, it's because you chose it. That's probably the same answer as number one. But if you're out here cheating, you chose it. Ain't nothing you can do. Like, say, for instance, you married and your husband or wife or whatever get into a car wreck and they can't no longer perform it. Like, you choose to cheat if you cheat. Instead of honoring your husband by staying with him and just, working it out in other ways. It's a choice. No, it's not based on what you can and cannot perform or what you don't perform. You knew this going in.
You're froze.
You can no longer tolerate not having these things or having these sexuals.
Hello?
She froze.
Oh, okay. Man, she was getting into it too. She'll come back. She'll come back.
Off too.
Yeah, she was coming back into it. All right. So, I mean, I have the conversation. My boy Black, Black Ice is in here. What's up, boy? Oh, she back?
Your camera's off. Was that on purpose?
Yeah. Because I'm finna read the next one.
Okay.
He said history does represent the fact men normally jump in and not drown. No pun intended. You done. I want what I want. Okay. But look, I mean, well, let me ask this last question. How you got everything you want in this dude, and he got lame sex. You stay or you leave?
Oh, we staying. We just gonna work through that. But so that means that when I tell you how I need to be satisfied, you're gonna have to listen.
Now you're talking to me like I'm a kid. Go ahead.
No, I'm not talking to you like a kid.
I agree. I said I'm staying. If that's the case, we can work it out. We can make it not lame in other ways.
Okay, so we talk about marriage. Let's take it out the marriage concept. It just saves you in a relationship with somebody.
I still feel the same way.
You staying or you leaving?
I still feel the same way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We got everything else that got, it's like that's like a 90% 10,
Like the 80-20
rule. 95, it's like the 80-20 rule. But realistically, if you check all those boxes and you just that one thing, we can fix that. That ain't a deal breaker.
Well, y'all give me.
Which is why I said that he gotta be doing something right. She's still with him.
True.
Yeah, like the whole trying to embarrass. Like, so now you're putting your husband out there. Granted, I'm like, again, I said, I'm not excusing the bad behavior, but you put your husband out there saying it was whack. So, like, was it always whack? Or did it just become whack because you found out that he was stepping out on you? Yeah.
Oh wow. Man, okay. So I mean that's one. I mean, y'all discuss it amongst yourself. If you just tuned in, you listen to the full 180 man. We just we're going through, dear full 180, letters from the culture. We're reading the letters, you know what I'm saying? Because this is a This is a viewer's choice type of show. We want you to be in on the conversation too. So I got these letters, and I wanted to, just let's discuss them. Let's find out. Let's see what we can do for the people. And great segue, Jules, when you said something about marriage. Here we go. Number 2. Okay, so I don't know necessarily how to say this, but I'm in some type of turmoil, and I need advice. I am 35. I have been dating this guy for about 12 years, and we're about to get married in a month. I'm torn, and I want to cancel my wedding, but I'm terrified about embarrassing my family, wasting money, and whether I'll find someone else. The reason I want to cancel is because in the last 12 years we've been together, I've been so unhappy. He's a good person and organized, but he's also selfish. Buys dinner for himself, knows things I like, but never surprises me. Yet I cook and I look out for him daily. No, not romantic in the least, pessimistic, and literally, I feel as though I don't want to spend time with him and don't even look forward to seeing him. But I have always been the one to break up with him in the past. And he always reminds me that I don't stick with anything and that I too am not perfect. I really feel like I deserve something better, but I'm so terrified because that's 12 years and that's a long time. Oh, and let me add this caveat. He's also, he also is the only serious relationship I've ever had. Help me, a sister confused. Ladies,
I'm confused.
Why you want to for? What you say? 12 years? How many years?
12 years.
12.
12 years.
12. Like
12.
Lies.
She said.
Lies.
She said.
12 years.
I
12
don't
years.
even. I don't. What she say?
12 years. She
That she don't even she
said,
regrets. Don't even want him.
no.
Not
No,
excited
she
to see him.
said, but I literally pessimistic and literally I feel as though I don't want to spend time with him and don't even look forward to seeing him.
Like when you don't look forward to seeing someone,
I'm gonna go.
it's you gonna waste another century lifetime with a dude that you don't look forward to seeing or being with that you don't like why? Leave that, just leave it. It ain't worth it.
She's holding on to the fact of saying, well, we got all these years, and that get people in trouble all the time, all these years. So all these years, at some point during those 12 years, you became unhappy. You don't like the fact that he's a pessimistic. You don't like the fact that whatever else she said in the letter, and yet y'all finna get married, and you don't want to call it off because you don't want to disappoint everybody else, but it's your marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And that money spent, you'll get it back. Money always circulating. But what you
Like,
can't
first
get
of
back
all,
It's your time.
You can't get that back.
so what you talking about money? I'm gonna let Jules talk, but that whole money part, I want my $1,700 back right now.
It ain't
still
worth
ain't
it.
came back.
It ain't
I
worth
want
it.
my $1,700 back. I don't even want no. Look, I'm gonna let God take care of the rest, but I want my money. That was $1,700. Oh, plus 14, because I forgot T John and Grandma put the down payment down for the wedding venue. So I know, yeah, that's a good 24, 20. That's almost 30,000. I'm gonna need that. We gonna need that.
But
want
you're
it
gonna have
back?
to eat that because that's on you. You stayed in there that long.
No. It wasn't about staying nowhere in there long. This situation was based upon because you are not a grown woman. Your mama still run your life. So
I'm talking about the
let's
letter.
be. Oh, okay. I'm talking about my $1,700. That's what I'm talking about.
And that's why I said you want installments.
I want them. Let's start them today. Let's start them today.
I type up the letter. I got you.
But go ahead, Jules. You right. The letter. Back to the letter. She said
I'm
he's a
just
pessimist.
saying, it's not worth
And
it. I don't care what you say. I don't care who invested. I don't care how your family intertwined, all of that. And you doing it to save face, or maybe to save his feelings, or to save everybody's feelings and everybody's money and everybody's investment into the situation. But like, to live miserably. And I think that's that's rooted for cheating as well. That's rooted for just dysfunction. Like, if you gonna dread somebody coming, oh my gosh, I think that's the worst feeling to have when you're in a relationship, is to dread being with that person.
Like the
Because it
phone
doesn't
ringing, you don't
matter
want to
what
answer.
happens, it doesn't matter what you go through, it's gonna be a struggle because you don't even want to be there.
Or you pull up to the driveway of your house and you just sit there for another 10, 15 minutes.
I mean,
Or the phone ring, you just look at it.
right? You're gonna be trying to get it out every chance you get.
Okay.
That's like separation before you even get there. You talk about marriage is becoming one. You're supposed to be building to become one, equal-minded, equal footed, everything. It's just it's an opportunity to build together. Now, if you're going in this and it's just y'all both agreeing to just look good on paper and not have nothing in it, or y'all planning, I mean, you feel like there's enough hope in there for y'all to come together, but I just don't agree. I wouldn't encourage none of that. And I'm sure if you went and told your people how you were feeling, they would be like, I understand. We're not going to do this.
Right.
Okay.
And even if you didn't tell your people, it doesn't matter.
Nah.
I don't want to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with all that said, y'all not gonna do my boy like that. Now, he got some issues. I will say that. You know, you're not romantic, bro. You gotta know how to be romantic, bruh. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do something. You know, you can't be pessimistic. I don't know if the whole buying dinner for himself, I don't understand that part. Like, am I taking myself out to eat? And if I am, why this woman that I'm about to marry ain't taking me out to eat? Why she ain't dating me? Because dating should go both ways, right? So, but I'm gonna go a little further.
Maybe it's like I can think about something like that, saying like, you know, they're both at home or he getting off from work and ain't said, hey babe, you know, you want some or whatever, and just showed up with food for himself.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, but I mean, if that's the case, right? So okay, well, yeah, okay, I can see that happening. Maybe he didn't call, hey, are you hungry? This, and that. Or, you know, the typical woman thing, I can't say all, but I will say some. If you call and ask, hey, babe, what you want to eat? I don't know. See? I'm only going to ask you 3 times. So if I show up with a hot dog from 7-Eleven, best luck to you. I don't know what to tell you. Good luck. It's like, I asked you. See, I asked you, and then what do y'all normally do? You ask if you want something. Then when the brother come back with a meal, then what the first thing y'all doing? Oh, let me taste that. No, that's why I asked you if you wanted something. Get out my plate.
So like,
no, hold on. Let's go further.
No, I was gonna say, oh yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I'm just gonna say that, like, when we say like you just selfish, it's not like a one-time thing or, you know, randomness. It's like you have taken those habits and made it like a continuous thing that you do over and over and over again. And we've already told you.
So is that a two-way street?
What?
The selfish part.
I think everybody has some sense of selfishness. I think that what level you're willing to release that selfishness or reevaluate that selfishness is based on the communication that you have with your special person. Like if you feel like they're worthy of certain things, then it's real easy to get that stuff up. It's real easy to change your perspective on how it is once you realize that, oh, yeah, maybe I am being a little selfish, or, oh, maybe, you know, that was not, I didn't consider you. Like, I'm gonna give you an example. I used to go on vacation So I dated this guy a long time ago. And I used to go on vacation all the time. And every time I come from vacation, you know, I gotta have my refrigerator magnet from the place. I gotta have the shot glass that, you know, was from the place that I went to. But every time I came back, and I was going for work, and so I was going often, I never brought him stuff back like that, like little souvenirs and things. And I would always just bring myself something back, or my grandmother something back. And then one day he was like, "You'll never think about me when you're gone." And I was like, man, that is kind of real selfish of me not to bring him anything back. You know what I mean? And then my mind was thinking, like, I talked to you the whole time I'm there. I'm this and that, and I'm thinking about you. But it was selfish of me to not consider him when I'm out doing something for myself or doing something for somebody else. And I mean, I brought my grandmother. Not that is to say that she's, you know, higher. She is higher than he was, but I'm just saying, just the consideration of him, because we were dating. It should have been significant. You know what I mean? I should have been thinking about bringing him something back as well. And I was like, if he went somewhere, when he did go places, he did bring me back my little magnets and things like that. And it made me happy, you know? So it was like, oh, so now going forward, I'm conscious that, you know, what am I going to bring him back that he likes, you know?
So my thing is, so I'm gonna say what you need to say, then I'm gonna go back to this letter. That whole bringing back, or when I was going with the whole selfish thing, to this day, there's women who are selfish with some sexual acts. I'm not gonna go too much into it, but they're very selfish in sexual acts. Brother got to send smoke signals, red flags, write letters, put post-it notes on your car as you leave, no whatever, just to make sure, you know, hey, can a brother get special attention? Can I go to church today?
Well, that's what we was talking about earlier, is that women are taught they're taught to do those particular acts like you a dirty girl. That's not what you're supposed to be doing.
So what's a dude?
So they don't even desire to do them.
But is it a dude a dirty? Okay, but no, that's not true. Because no, that's not true.
It is true.
No,
so like if you taught that is true.
Because there's a lot of things
dirty, then you be like,
is it selfish? If it's selfish, if a dude don't desire to? Because if he don't, what are the words that always come out of people's mouth? If you won't, there's somebody else there. What? Will.
I think it depends on who you're dealing with. And if you communicate certain things and that's just not what they into, or if they honest with themselves, they can say yay or nay.
And then go back to what you said about going out of town. See, my thing is, too many people, and I had to learn this, so this is why I'm saying it. Too many people always expect the people do what you do. Quit expecting people to do what you do. What you do is what you do. My mother always say, if I'm gonna help somebody out by giving them some money, I'm cool. I don't expect my money back. When I give it to you, it's yours. Because why I'm finna walk around with you and hunt you down and call you every day? I ain't gotta tell you owe me. So stop expecting people to do what you do. Do what you want to do because of the own kindness of your own heart. So that whole now, but then when he brought it to your attention, at that point, yeah, okay, now it makes sense. But if you're doing that, bro, if he says something to you, Jules, only because he did it and you didn't do it, it's like, bro, just quit doing it. You ain't gotta have no conversation. If you see it's not being reciprocal, stop it. It's simple. Now back to this letter. My thing with this letter, y'all talking about him being selfish and he is a pessimistic and literally feel, you know, and that's why I picked this letter last. Well, I wanted to pick this letter last. At the bottom of this, it says a big red flag. But I've also always been the one to break up with him in the past. And he always reminds me that I don't stick with anything. Call me selfish if you want to, but if I can't depend on you to be here, I ain't thinking about you. You already teaching him you ain't marriage material. So if you want to call off the wedding, please do. And then when you go tell your people, tell them that part. See, we always run and tell only half of the story. Tell them what you do, because it kind of makes sense. If you're the one always up and leaving, I'll tell anybody, you show me just who you'll be if I'm married to you by the way you act. If If we have problems and you always looking for the front door,
Can't hear you.
you can't hear me?
Oh, now we
Can you hear
can.
me?
Yeah.
Now.
Okay. If you always looking for the front door every time we have an issue, then I'm out. You good, you want me to pack your stuff? I'll help you. I'll find you somewhere to stay. The whole nine. See, too many people always want to be in the frame, but you never want to get into the picture of things. You live in the frame about all the outside BS. Oh, I'm doing this. I'm doing that. But did you ever stop to think maybe he act this way because of how you act? What is the rule? For every action, there's a what? Reaction. So, and do I agree with him being selfish? No. Do I agree with him not being romantic? No. Because if you at this point about trying to marry your woman, bro, you should already been doing that before you even got to this point, right? You should have seen her through some seasons already. You should have seen her through some changes, some obstacles, some challenges. You should have been on a road trip, the whole nine. You should have been overseas to see some things that you need to see. So am I totally excusing him? No. But as far as her mad, because she's terrified, but you ain't terrified because you keep leaving. You keep leaving. You say it in the letter. You always leaving. So what you want me to stay for? You want me to be butthurt because you finna go? Nope. Bye. Because we still missing the point. If you're not able to stick through, and you said a while ago, Jules, it's two people becoming one, right? So if we become one, then we should be already be able to work through issues, problems before I'm ever saying I do. Because we've already done it. So basically, when you've already done it in quote unquote your dating phase, when you get married, things shouldn't necessarily always change. Now, the thing about that is, well, let me speak for me. When I proposed to Ty and we were getting married, I told my mother things wouldn't change. I I was the one never condoning to live with anybody. My uncle them drilled that in my head, right? And I've had some bad things to go on with that. Starting over is not a fun thing. But in that situation, I was somewhere where somebody wanted me to be there. They found the way for me to be there. I still kept my own place because of what I went through, right? As a precaution. But within that time frame, I learned some things about her that just were not going to change. She was not gonna let water out after she washed dishes. She was not gonna fold clothes after I washed clothes. She wasn't gonna do this, or the third. So my thinking is now that I gotten to the point of now I'm proposing to you. When I propose to you, it should. I mean, when I propose to you and actually marry you, things should necessarily change because I've already seen what it is you're gonna do and what you're not gonna do. So we don't. And when you get married, it's not a switch you just click on. Like that's seen in the whole quote unquote exclusive dating phase of what you going of how life is going to be every day. So get into that picture, quit and get out the damn frame of everything else that's going on outside of you. See, Ann calls it being in a bubble. When you put yourself in a bubble, now y'all have time to work through what y'all need to work through. Keep your friends out your business. Work. Talk about this, talk about that. Are you gonna necessarily talk about everything? No. That's why you go to marriage counseling. However, you've created some type of foundation between y'all two. She ain't creating no foundation if she's still leaving. I don't care if it's 10, 20 years. And then again, you a dummy. You been with a dude for 10 years? 10 years?
12.
12, excuse me. 12 years? And he ain't proposed to you? Mm-mm. You need to rethink that whole thing. You need to be
Propose
looking
to
in the mirror
her.
and looking at yourself. Huh?
He did propose to her. They get married now.
10 years?
No.
Well, now she ready to go, though.
That's
Now
no.
she ready to go, though. 12 years? 12, I've been around people who've been kicking it for 20 years. And you be like, bro, you been now, disclaimer, I will say the whole marriage thing is a thought process. Trust me, it ain't because some women think, oh, well, it's because you think this gonna be the last piece you ever get. No, it's more or less I have to deal with you for a lifetime. So I have to be, as y'all would say, in which I agree with, find somebody you like. I'm commanded to love you by God, but I need to like you. When you turn from the 12 ounce to 12 ounce to the 3 liter, I need to still like you. If you get an attitude, some changes, like you're gonna grow, you're gonna keep growing. So I still need to like you. I need to like the person, not necessarily how fine you are, what you do, because things like that gonna change. Oh, let me add something to this.
I was born before I had a birth certificate. I'm gonna die before I have a death certificate. So I don't need a marriage certificate to validate my connection with you. But society says this.
Hold on, you about to piss all the women off.
I can piss them. They need to hear it.
I already know you about to piss them off right now. We done had this conversation before. We had a brother who said that same thing. Who said that he didn't want his marriage and his connection and his, the sanctity of the marriage itself to be validated by the government and so on and so forth. Which I get that, but a lot of women, they don't really. That's a false sense of security for them. Your word alone is just a false sense of security.
We can have paperwork. We can have an insurance policy. Make sure you straight if something happens. Vice versa. We can create our own contract. I hate the word contract. That's what it is. The prefix to contract is con. I want a covenant. The contract, bro. I'm tired of contract. We are covenant people, bro. And because we have not been standing on covenant, that's why these things don't work for us.
So I'm gonna let y'all talk, but first I'm gonna say, bro, you out your rabbit head ass mind. Yeah, there's gonna be some paper on my wall. I'm gonna blow it up real big because I need everybody to see. Everybody see the signature. I don't necessarily agree with it. I do not agree that we're a covenant. We are a covenant people. Now, and I'm gonna let Webby go further with this because she found something today that's going to enhance that conversation. But it's just like I played that because, like he said, well, what I'm using is what he said, the security. He said a woman doesn't feel secure if you don't have that contract, whatever. Well, it's the same thing. In my mind, reading this letter, he ain't necessarily, he looking out for him because there's no security that you really gonna stay. So we get married, you get mad, and then we break up. Then what? I'm not gonna spend the remaining of our marriage going to your mama house, begging you to come home. You only got one time. And the second time you leave, I'm gonna drop all your stuff at the front door of your mama house. This is where you want to be. This is where you can stay. Not doing that. I don't have time for that. But go ahead, ladies. You heard the video. You heard the actual. It say you don't need no contract. It's a con. You need a covenant.
Lies you tell, and I think that is so asinine to think that you shouldn't get a marriage certificate. So basically, we're just gonna live together. We gonna do 20, 30 years with each other, whatever else, and not be governed by the state. Make it make sense. I can't. And that's just crazy to me that we got people out here thinking that's okay. And I think that people who think like that do that so that they don't have the responsibility of said contract.
So they do that to have you. So you saying they do that to have a plan B or keep their options open?
Absolutely.
So is that isn't that the same thing as us dating? We date someone and not have a contract to keep our options open.
I mean, some people do. Some people do that.
So I got I have a friend who does.
Come on, Jules. Give it to me.
Like,
give it to me.
Like they not get married. They not get married. They're gonna be together, but they're not gonna get married because there's so many things that they don't want to merge, like assets and finances. I mean, things like that. It's just so many things that they don't want to merge together because of their own fear, of separation and breakups and things like that has happened over the years. But they've been together for like at least 25 years now. And it's not to say to knock it or whatever. It's your choice, whether you want to do it or whether you not do it. If y'all agree to that upon that, then that's on y'all. Me personally, that's not what I want. But I mean, I think it's to each his own.
I think that's a bunch of cockamamie bull. That is bull. Because I used to work with this lady, and her guy were together for 27 odd years, and he ended up passing away.
Mhm.
And I would when he was alive, I would keep asking her, hey, like, when y'all gonna get married? Like, what are y'all doing? Oh, we're just not ready. 25 years later, you're not married, you're not ready.
Mhm.
No. And it all and what it boiled down to, she was afraid to get married, and then he ended up dying, and
Mhm. You lose everything.
she has suffered financial ruin due to that.
Mhm.
You know, they have a daughter. She's grown, but you know that money went to her. And granted, it's not all about the money, but I did 25 or 26 years with you.
Yeah.
And
Well, sound like you was in prison.
no. No. So and for it to, and not saying that the child didn't deserve to have, you know, monies from her father's passing, but it's like, huh? And now, you know, going forward, she's dating someone else. And I'm like, now they're probably going on about 4 or 5 years of being together. I'm like, well, are y'all gonna get married? She's like, I don't know. I don't know if we are. I'm like, you doing the same thing that you just got out of.
She say they say they're not ready for that.
Oh no, he won't now. Her dude wants to get married. He was married before.
Mm.
But the only reason why he's kind of like, I'm not gonna say the only reason. I mean, I think that he's just kind of just letting her, you know, take the wheel, because either, so basically he's dealing with the fact that she doesn't want to get married because he wants to be with her.
So I have a comment that says my husband and I were completely committed to each other in our hearts and heads before we ever married. Years before we legally married. Okay. So, okay. So, but he still had a plan B, because at any moment he can get up and leave. Oh, and then now, Webby, I want you to make sure I say this correctly, because I don't want to say it wrong. I'm going to put a link in the actual comments, y'all, because I want y'all to look at this. If you're married, or if you think about getting married, play it for your significant other and see what they say. But in the comment, and Webby, roll with me, he said, and the gentleman is a preacher, he said, marriage, what did he say? Hold on. See, I've been taking notes. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. I hate to have that pause. So he said marriage is only recognized in the sight of God, right? Two people becoming one in the sight of God, right? This, and I put the link in there so you can actually hear the full story, because I'm not giving you everything, because we got to get out of here. I'm not keeping everybody in today. But so if that is truly the case, I have a question for you. If we get married at the courthouse, is our marriage recognized before God?
Yep, it's still recognized, because
Yeah.
you because it can be done by a priest, it can be done by a governing official who has the licensing to do so.
Mhm.
So yes, that is still your covenant is still being recognized in the eyes of God.
So in other words, I may be being real silly, so I'm gonna go. So you telling me Judge Judy is God?
No, I said it was recognized in the eyes of God. I didn't say Judge Judy was God.
So how is it recognized? How is it recognized in the eyes of God if I'm getting married at a courthouse? I would think it'd be more recognized if I was getting married. Go ahead.
You still have to be married by an official.
Yeah, an officiant.
Yeah.
And technically, Judge Judy is an officiant.
Yeah. Regardless if you get it in the church or not.
Yeah, regardless if you get married in your house, backyard, on top of the roof, if you have an officiant who has the licensing or the credentials to marry you, then your marriage is still being ordained, and your marriage is being recognized in the eyes of God. But that particular preacher that you're referencing, I can just give you some context, Jules. So there was a question that was posed that if we're living together, am I going to hell? And short answer is we don't know. But what he was addressing is there is nowhere in the Bible that says man and woman cannot live together if they're not married. Y'all can go fact check me. It's not.
And that's true.
There's nowhere that says that. The challenge lies is that if man and woman are living together under one roof and are not married, the likelihood that they're going to end up having sex, which that is not okay. That part. And then he went on to say that you don't need a certificate to be married. He said, if you and the woman or man or whatever say before God that we're going to honor each other and love one another and make this vow before God, then we are married. And these Christians came for this man in the comments, which I don't agree with what he said because he's also married. So you're saying this and you're not married. It's like he was giving an out to people who live together, or like the guy that we just got through hearing saying that they don't have to have a certificate. And that's not true. Because it's big as that. I mean, I'm paraphrasing where it talks about having a priest and all this other stuff and certificates, and then you have to have a certificate to get divorced and all this other stuff that goes along with that.
Right.
So yeah, like I it was definitely misinterpreted, and I think it really gave the wrong idea. Well, in short, is it wrong for man and woman to live together who are not married? And the answer is no, because there's nowhere in the Bible that says that it's wrong. What's wrong is them having sex before they get married.
Right. And I think that some people also associate like, well, I don't have to get married because, like in the state of Texas, you can be together, living together for, a certain period of time, and it's considered common law marriage.
Hold on, let me interject just real quick. And if you look in the state of Texas, you can go and legally file for common law marriage. And if you go do that, you do have to have an official divorce to get out of that.
Yes. And even if you're not trying to get married, but y'all commingle stuff like think purchases, finances, all these things, she can go straight to the courthouse, or he can go straight to the courthouse and claim it as common law marriage, and you still married, regardless of if you like it or not.
What?
Yes. Because you gotta have like 3 bases of common law marriage. In order, you have to have like tenure, you have to have like mixed funds, you have to have stuff with both y'all names on it. Yeah, take it on down to the courthouse and y'all common law married.
Yes, you can. And you can go actually file for common law marriage. Basically, you're saying you're having a marriage without a ceremony.
Yes.
And if you decide that y'all don't want to be together no more, then you have to go through the actual divorce proceedings to separate.
Mm-hmm.
So for all that, you might as well go on and get married.
Yep.
Boy, I tell you,
you can look
these
it
laws, these laws you getting brothers caught up. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So and then to be common law marriage, you have to be at their residence for 6 months.
Yeah.
Receiving mail.
But you also have to have something that has both your names on it, something joint, whether it's a joint bank account, whether it's a joint electricity bill, water bill, whatever it is, got both of your names on it for a 6-month period of time.
Yes, for all y'all folk out here, especially those who live in that, who believe that guy's doctrine about we don't have to have a certificate. If y'all live in the state of Texas and y'all receiving mail at the same residence, y'all are technically common law married, bruh.
Oh wow. Yeah, nah. Mm-mm.
Did you look at it?
Well, if that's the case, no, yeah, I'm researching. If that's the case, can't nobody stay in my house no more. We good. I don't want no issues because I ain't giving you nothing. If you don't have a wife in front of your name and the last name mine, nah, we good. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do that. Good job.
But that's if you're receiving mail, like so. People live together and don't receive mail, or they don't intertwine their bank accounts and all that other fun stuff.
Right.
But yes, so that's why I find it very interesting that that gentleman was saying stuff like that, because in certain states, yeah.
Oh wow.
And then too,
Mm.
you can go change your name without being married. So these people go through all these houses. They change their name and do all this other stuff. And y'all it's just silly. You want to act like married folk, but without, being married folk.
Yeah.
Hey, better
That's
be
why with the one that
careful
know
what
too
you
much,
say
you're
to
gonna be
me.
married anyways.
Oh Lord.
So,
Well, I mean, all I gotta say that, boy, ain't that some I didn't even know that.
for all of that, you might as well go on and get married. It's like I think people say that the certificate don't mean this is okay. Other thing, and I'm gonna get off my tangent because this is crazy to me. So we don't want to get married, but we go buy a house, which is a 30-year mortgage at best, 15 if you got a conventional. Okay, so that's a 30-year investment. I don't want to get married, but we going, do all these other big purchases, buying cars together, doing this, doing that. But I don't want to get married. Make it make sense, Lord. Make it make sense. But you
Right.
doing all these things.
Right.
Or you having babies with this individual. Oh, well, I don't want to get married.
Oh.
That's a lifelong commitment. And folks out here telling me now, once they get turned 18, no. You're still their parent.
Right.
Thing doesn't stop. So
college, new babies.
You enter into all these things that are commitments.
Y'all INDEPENDENT. You know what that means.
I hate you so much right now.
I'm just saying. I'm independent. Oh, okay. You're right. Go ahead.
But I guarantee you most of these independent women that's out here trying to stay single and not get married, they ain't gonna be having these dudes living with them.
No.
Okay.
They not. But for those dudes who out here saying, "Oh, baby, we ain't got to get married. Why?
Nah.
I mean, I love you, you love me, and so shoot, we don't need no piece of paper to define our love." What is wrong?
Well, y'all going in on these people.
That's stupid. That is asinine and it is stupid. And I'm not trying to offend anybody who is watching the show. And if you know that's what you're doing. But for me in my house,
now y'all want to bring the Lord into it.
That's that whole thing of you want the whole cow, right? You don't want to pay for it. You want the
But
milk.
I mean that's the whole. But that's the same thing. You want me to pay for your nails, your feet. You call me, you independent, and I did this too. And it's probably wrong, but I tell you that Scorpio, that little pity Scorpio. But you said you independent, and then you call me and talk about you got a flat. What do you want me to do? You ain't you independent?
I think some of that is different.
You got the number to double A? Nope. Don't you got the number double A? Call them. Got triple A, double A.
But you the man of her life. That's something different. That's not.
See, that's the problem. I can't be your man when it's convenient for you. I'm your man because you got a flat. But yesterday, it was fuck that nigga. Okay. Whew. Well, since you got all that strength and that courage to say all that, did understand. Have that same strength when you get yourself in a situation. See, too many people writing checks that your ass can't cash. My grandmother told me that a long time ago. Quit running your mouth. Quit running your mouth. Because see, one thing I will let you know about me, I remember everything you say. I remember everything you say. And just because I don't say nothing, don't think I didn't hear what you said. Don't think I'm not paying attention. Oh, because it's gonna come back to you. It's gonna come back to you. And plenty of people watch the show will probably say, "Wow, Big, you just so petty." No. Because if it so happened that I ain't gonna say dudes, but dudes, if you understand, just put out to amen in the comments. If it so happened I do something, I know it's gonna be brought up in my face because it's gonna happen. 9 times out of 10, it's gonna happen. See, and that's why I tell my mother all the time. See, everybody want to talk about that book they read. Think like a man, act like a woman. I read the opposite. And there's some stuff y'all do you can't take. So you might want to think twice. when you start dealing with a brother that's emotionally intelligent and knows how to articulate his emotions very well. Period. Man, look. Hey, these letters was great, man. Y'all got another letter. You got something going on? Send it to us. We in this thing. And now, once again, the disclaimer is this is not an advice column. We're not giving you no advice. We're just going by what you said. And then you heard the different perspectives, different thoughts, different things of that nature. But please understand at the end of the day, whatever you're going through or whoever you're going through, that's between you and him. Y'all have to work that out. This is the reason why, one of the reasons why me and Mr. Baker Clint, shout out to him, created this show, along with the other castmates that were here. Because my thing is, we do too much texting. We all at the barbershop running our mouth. We at the beauty shop running our mouth. We at our mama house running our mouth. We doing all this stuff, but the person you need to be talking to, you ain't talking. This is why the full 180. These people that are on the show have came from that 360, going through that same thing, and they were ready to stop. So we had to grow up, or as I said, you had to get out the frame and get into the picture. So now we decided to get in the picture. And now we use our own elements, our own tragedies, our own traumas, our own healing, which is still a journey for whoever you are, to have the conversation. Put your phones down. Quit texting. I'm upstairs, you downstairs. We text and fight me. Don't text fight me. Come talk to me. Dudes, including me, you gotta stay out the ceiling. You gotta be able to listen. Uh, um, Black Ice said it earlier. You gotta have a listening, because sometimes I know that was my problem long time ago. Especially when you get into your feelings or stuff like that. You got to know how to get in and get out of those. So, hope you enjoyed the show, man. Like I said again, make sure you subscribe to the show. We got what we do, what we always do. We call this our 2 minute segment. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Give me what you got for a pork chop. Come on, Jules.
So for my out, just perspective. Don't waste your time on energy that you don't want. If you don't want to be with them, if you dread them, leave them. If they out here cheating and acting a fool, if you don't want to be there, leave them. You got to be an adult and make a decision. And if you gonna make this decision to stay, don't complain about
it. Dang, nicely put. Lil Webby, aka soon to be therapist. Webby. Dictionary.
I'm gonna put that in a frame too in my office.
Go get it.
My 2 minutes would be definitely don't, if your desire is to be married and the guy that you're with or woman that you're with is saying, well, baby, we ain't got to get married. We don't need no piece of paper because we know how we do to each other. Girl or dude, get your life together and go on. Because y'all finna be in a 10, 15-year situationship because y'all not married. Well, depending on if you live in the state of Texas. But I definitely believe do what your heart's desire, and if that's what you want to do, and don't be afraid to, as far as the sex thing, please don't be afraid to speak up with your mate if you're not satisfied in that department. And in the receiving party, receive it, and don't think you should always get a gold star for your performance.
Unless you deserve one, then you get your gold star. My 2 minutes, man. Look, throughout life, know how to be humble. Sometimes you're not gonna get it right. Sometimes it's not gonna be perfect. Everything they say, it's a cliche. They say 2 imperfect people come together to be perfect. I would say 2 people who choose to unlearn the things that they've already learned through other tragedies and traumatic things in their life. They come together and they choose to change their thinking pattern in order to form their own traditions, their own love language, their own communication. Do that. Do everything possible before you knock that door. Because you remember, this door is not a revolving door. So sometimes it only take one time. Sometimes you can come back. Sometimes you can't. But think about it. Do all that you can. Leaving is not always the option, depending on what's going on. But always just remain humble. Make sure you always think of the other side Like the gentleman said earlier, sex is just not for men, even though we talk about it, it's for the woman too. So you have to think of it, you have to put yourself in that mental capacity. Relationships start with a mental before it ever goes anywhere else. Man, look, I'm gonna sit in for my boy D. You know, normally we out of here, we gonna have prayer. So I'm gonna knock it out for him real quick. He probably in these friendly skies, you know, he doing big things, big things. Ladies, you know I appreciate you 100 for everything you're doing. Dr. B, we know you out there at the network, networking, doing your thing. So we're gonna do what we normally do. Let's go and get it in. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to our Lord. Just thank you for not making our bed our cooling post. We thank you for just waking up and creating us a new heart, a new mindset, a new thought process, just giving us one more chance to try to make right the wrongs that we've created. We ask you to forgive us of our sins, those knowingly and unknowingly. Lord, bless the ones and touch the ones with the right mental capacity to let them know they are good enough, that they are worthy, because you made them first to be worthy before they ever became worthy to any other fleshly human being in this world. Lord, Lord, we ask you continue to lead us on the journey that you've already set for us before we were ever born, and it's called life. Let us live it abundantly. Let us always be thankful and remain humble and work towards being the servant that we need to be, that you are pleased for. We love you, we thank you, we praise you and honor you in everything that we do. We ask all the things in your son's name we pray. Amen. Man, look, think big. Believe in God because he believes in us. And remember, my mantra is always love, live, laugh. While you're on this side, remember to always love, live, and laugh before you get to the other side. On the next Monday, I'm going to let y'all come up with the subject. I ain't doing it. I'm going to let y'all do it. Because school is about to be checked in. Look, wherever you ready?
I'm ready.
But
You see
we going
my
to leave you on
excitement?
this. Yeah, there's so much excitement. I see it. Well, we're gonna leave you on this note with this song by my boy PJ Morton. You ain't never heard this. This is a treat. I want you to sit back, listen to it, and just vibe with it. Until then, we'll see you again next Monday right here. You know what it is, the full 180.
Yeah, yeah. I know your eyes in the morning sun. I feel you touch me in the pouring rain. And the moment that you wonder from me, I wanna feel my arms again. And you come to me on a summer breeze. Give me warm in your love, in your soft bed. And it's me. I believe in you. And on the door, my favorite song. You're the light in my deepest, darkest hour. My savior, when I fall, and you may not see that I care for you. When you know you can, and you need to show. I It's your love, it's your love. I really need you.
Let's say it one more time, y'all help us. How deep is your love? Is on I really need somebody. When they on top together.